What's going on? Welcome to the first video in my trilogy of the Batman Arkham video game series. And I did say trilogy, I'm only going to be reviewing Arkham Asylum, City, and Arkham Knight. I have not played Arkham Origins yet. I'll get to it, I just haven't gotten to it yet, so this one is going to remain just for the video games released by Rocksteady Studios. And without further ado, let's go. So Batman Arkham Asylum came out in 2009 and mainly released for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. And a lot of people were really unsure of what to expect because at that time, video game adaptations of comic book properties were kind of like as hit or miss as a movie adaptation of a video game property. So there are some good ones out there, but for the most part, you really just never knew what you were going to get. And I feel for the most part, this game really exceeded a lot of expectations that people previously had had. It had a great look, it had a great story, it was a ton of fun, and it has a lot of replayability. Without diving too much into the plot, the basic gist of the game is Batman is essentially returning Joker to Arkham Asylum. That's how the game starts off. And Arkham Asylum in this Arkham universe is set on an island. It's basically secluded. It's not just a separate part of the city that you can drive to. It's completely isolated. And Batman is returning Joker there, and within the first 5-10 minutes of the game, the tables turn, and you realize the Joker was planning on getting caught, and he and a huge gang of his thugs are essentially now taking over Arkham Asylum, this entire isolated island. And the only people left on this island are the patients, Joker, some employees, and Batman. Now let's get into a lot of positives with this game, because there are quite a few that I want to touch on. First, overall, is the atmosphere. This game really builds the atmosphere of what you know you're getting into, all the way from the tone of the structure. You know, when you walk through a hallway, you can tell this place is not brand new. You know you're walking through Arkham Asylum, whether it's a main corridor, whether it's an underground tunnel. This place has been around for years. It has seen some wear and tear. It has some miles on it. So everything really just grosses you in this feeling of, okay, this is Batman and this is the setting you're in. Another great thing about this game, and all the Arkham games do this, is that it's an open world environment. It's not a linear mission 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so on that you can just kind of, skip back and forth of which one you want to replay. Yes, there is a central story, but there are tons of different things on the side you can do. Separate side missions, collectibles, things and little clues and hints and riddles. It's got a very almost Grand Theft Auto type style, which was brilliant, because you don't have to follow Batman going after a story of just one villain. You have all these other villains, all these other characters, and little Easter eggs that are hidden throughout this entire game, which works beautifully. And honestly, with that said, I really enjoyed it a lot more. And yes, Joker is the main villain. He's the one that the story kind of starts and ends with. But throughout, you get other characters thrown in terms of the Riddler. You get Poison Ivy. You get Harley Quinn. And a lot of other ones. You get Killer Croc. And there are other little Easter eggs throughout. That's one of the great things. Even if there's no villain in this game, you might find a little hint about it. But that worked really well. So you have these people, anyone who is either a Batman fan or a DC fan, knows the comic books, or really even doesn't, is there's a lot of things for you to do in this game. Which brings me really to the other great aspect about it, is it's got a lot of replayability. You could go through this whole game and do just the main story, but then you can go back and you do plenty of other things. One great thing they did with this, and again, the other games as well, is with the Riddler. This is what really builds a lot of that replayability, is throughout all of the map, all of the different levels, different areas, and different environments, there are Riddler trophies that are hidden. There are also case tapes of different villains, basically in therapy sessions. And you can find these all throughout, and as you get them, it's kind of like this little accomplishment. On here, there might be a few hundred Riddler trophies, and you're like, well, if I get the trophy, what do I get? You get points, but that's that little satisfaction you get. And you can also find maps throughout most of the game that will give you clues and show on your map of, where the Riddler trophies are, where are some of the riddles. And some of them are very obvious. Some of them you just walk right past. You can pick up the trophy. Some are a little more intricate. There are riddles in terms of going to a cemetery and finding a certain name that is on one of the tombstones. Little things like that that are great. And one thing that really ties this whole game together that isn't really a standout, it really just adds to the entire experience, is the little details. Meaning, like what I was saying, the graveyard. Going through there, and it's not just headstone, headstone, headstone. Headstones, they're different. The different tombstones, they all have a different touch to them. Some of them are cracked in certain places. Some of them are worn out in certain areas. Everything has a unique style. And even Batman, in the beginning of the game, when he brings Joker back to Arkham Asylum, he looks like he put a brand new bat suit on. As the game goes on, his suit takes more and more wear and tear. It gets roughed up, it gets dirty, there gets scratches and rips in it. He starts getting dirt and blood on his face. So if you actually take a second, like a few seconds throughout the game at different points and look, his batsuit is taking the wear and tear of this game. So you feel like this is really happening almost. You don't feel it's like someone can just take, 30 punches or explosions or fall into the dirt and they always look exactly the same. Which this game, and again, the other ones followed the same trend. It just has this really good atmosphere. I know I keep on coming back to that word. That's the biggest thing these games have going for them. A few negatives, there aren't a lot, but just to touch on a few. Since this game was released 8 years ago, if you compare it to games like Arkham City and Arkham Knight, especially now for things like the Xbox One, this one does not look as polished. And again, I don't want to say that in a bad way. It's more just almost kind of a good thing. They got better as they went along. And again, this game came out in 2009. And for a 2009 game, this game still looks amazing. I went back and played it, and it still has a lot of replayability to it. And that's one of the great things about it. But other than that, this game is great. Anyone who is a Batman fan, a video game fan, really just a fan of even open world maps, I would definitely check this out. Whether you get it for the Xbox 360, Xbox One, it is definitely worth it. And there are so many things I still didn't talk about. I didn't talk about the amazing Scarecrow sequences. I won't give them away, but there are a few sequences throughout the game where the Scarecrow kind of sneaks in there in just this very interesting way. So that's very exciting. There are great times where you can basically perch on a ledge, look at your surroundings, and plan your attack rather than just walking to a room, punch, punch, punch. No, you can actually sit on a ledge and look and see, okay, these are where all the people are, and you can pick them off one by one. That way, it's a lot more stealthy, a lot more Batman-like, and it's just a great game altogether. This game is awesome. It is amazing. Like I said, any Batman fan, video game fan, or open world video game fan in general should definitely check this out, and this game is definitely worth it. Well, everybody, that's my review for Batman Arkham Asylum. Again, great game. Definitely worth it. Definitely go pick that up and throw that baby in and play it for hours on end. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and keep up to date to watch out for my next review for Batman Arkham City. And if you like this video, give it a like, shoot a comment to me. I'll make sure to reply back. And of that, see you guys next time.